And that's the problem, and that's why you're tryharding. You actually don't have any expectations, so it's a win-win. It's not failing or losing, it's win-win. I passed for my driving license today, and I'm very, very happy as well as relieved, because I was pretty nervous. Of course, that's a logical thing to be nervous before you're about to do your driving test, but I passed and I learned a few lessons from that. I applied this Taoist principle of Wu Wei during my driving test. I didn't try hard to pass for my driving test. That really worked out well. How do you do that? Because if you want to if you want to be in a flow state, because Wu Wei is nothing else than a flow state, then you want to have control over it. You want to have control over your actions. You want to have control over the things which are about to come. You want to have full control. And that's the problem, and that's why you're tryharding. And when you let go, when you think like, well, if I pass, then it's fine. If I fail, then it's fine. You lower your expectations. You actually don't have any expectations. Then a lot of pressure as well as stress, anxiety gets off your shoulders. I had that during the driving test. But of course I was nervous. I was a bit anxious and stressed, but I allowed myself to feel those emotions, but not to be controlled by those emotions. I'm proud of myself that I did that I dealt with it in a good way, that I didn't fall into the trap of being controlled by my emotions, that I had control over my emotions. So it was a good Stoic exercise. And I'm really glad I passed, of course. That's great. I'm also proud that I dealt with it in a good way. And because I put a lot of pressure on myself, because if I didn't pass for this driving test, because I had one before and I failed for that one, of course. So if I don't pass for this test, then I would have to do my driving theory again. I had to study theory again, and it would cost me a lot of money. And that's of course what I don't want. I want to accomplish this chapter of my life, to continue my life, to go on with life, close this chapter of my life. So it was a lot of pressure, and before the driving test, I thought like, well, whatever happens, it is meant to be. Amor Fati helped me a lot. And that also activated Wu Wei in philosophical terms. So what I learned from my driving test is that you have to observe your surroundings very, very well. Take space, take time to take space. Don't rush your driving test. Don't try hard. Have low expectations. Think like, well, if I pass, then it's fine. If I fail, then it's fine. Of course you want to pass, but that automatically, for myself, it automatically created a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So have low expectations. Don't let anyone get into your mind. You can not tell anyone about that you are about to have a driving test, or you can make a practice out of it to tell anyone, to tell everyone, and to deal with it in a good way. What also helped me is that to realize that a driving test is not the end of the world. If you fail for your driving test, then it's not the end of the world. You can do it again and again. And when you fail, you suffer. And suffering creates character that builds inner strength. So if you pass, then you get better. And when you fail, you get better. So it's a win-win. It's not failing or losing, it's win-win. I framed my thoughts many times to change my overall thoughts during the day. I did a lot of affirmations the entire day long in my mind. It takes a lot of energy. Sometimes it drains energy, but when you do that over and over and over again, for like weeks, months, or within a few days, to constantly speak to yourself or record your own affirmations and listen to them hours long, then you change your overall perspective on anything, as well as your driving test. And that helped me a lot, to use a lot of positive affirmations like have no expectations, accept what happens. Have no expectations, accept what happens. I can do it. All those affirmations. You train Wu Wei. Ask questions to yourself. Is this in my control or not in my control? The ultimate Stoic question. Use other questions like what's the worst that might happen? Nothing really bad. And during the driving test, you of course have to be focused. Do a lot of breathing to calm yourself down. Take time to observe your surroundings during the driving test, as well as not thinking too much, and trust your guts, your intuition. Don't make a big deal out of it, as I already told. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.